That's close enough. All right. Let's continue our journey into what are we doing? We're saving Megan, whatever her name is. Myra. Maggie. That's her name. Let's save Maggie. All right. So, oh, geez, that's loud. Loud. All right. So, how do you think the trial went this morning? How do you think it went? It got a bit crazy. Oh, no, it's not working either. No, why don't it work the way I want? Whatever. We'll just put it right there, I guess. It got a bit crazy in there. I just wondered if that killed our chances. Yeah, I guess it did get out of hand. Mr. Kudo's testimony did nothing to help us. Plus, now we don't even know the identity of the waitress who laced the coffee. All we know is what Mr. Kudo saw, the apron strap and the ribbon. And that victim was wearing an earpiece when his eardrum was ruptured. Okay. Talk about a terrifying case of contradictions. Time to play doctor and find ourselves a cure then, huh? Yeah. We've got to find one for Maggie, or she's going to have a terminal case of guilty. I guess Maggie's still in questioning. But we've got a question to ask her, too. No, that's too loud. That's too loud. We got to... I don't know. Hold on. Let me think. I guess just lower the gain then, right? Hey guys, all right, I guess that'll work. Maggie, keep it down, Maya. This isn't a playground, you know. All right. Empty as usual. Yeah, and it's lunchtime too. That's it. Come on. Hey, that sounds like... Now just call an 8, pal. Come on, I know you can. He's getting really worked up about something. No, that's the wrong number, you doofus. Arg, look like an 8 would have only netted me $5 anyways. What a ripoff. What's the problem, Detective Gumshoe? Huh? Oh, it's you. I was just listening to the radio, pal. To the radio? Hey, Detective Gumshoe, having lunch here? He is, and he has the 20 set. What can I say? This is a nightmare. How am I supposed to look Maggie in the eye now, pal? You really drove her into a corner, you know. You always blow apart my testimony. Why of all days didn't you do it today? Sorry? There just weren't any holes in it for once. Yeah, what happened? Usually your testimonies are like Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese? Would we have preferred crumbly like aged Parmesan? Anyways, this case has already been ruled on. There shouldn't be any holes left to find. So did Maggie say anything to you about me, I mean? Well, how did she put it? I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. I hate him, sir. I mean it. I don't ever want to see him again. Something like that. What? Please, Detective Gumshoe, don't run away. I love you still. I didn't mean it. Why is this happening? He's banging his head against the wall, Nick. Oh man, poor Gumshoe. So, did you like the twin tea set? I've never paid that much money for lunch before. I wasn't so nervous, my hands were shaking. So how did it taste? Well, for 20 bucks, I guess I don't know how to describe it, really. It was delicate? Delicate? You mean you liked it? It didn't taste bad to you? What's the matter with him? Looks like he's thinking. That's it. I've been trying to think of the right word to describe the taste. And I forgot so much today. I forgot my lights too. Jeez, what am I doing? Today is not the day. I've been trying to think of the right word to describe the taste, and I just realized it's bad. That's it. It tastes bad. Sigh. It's just kind of hard to admit it to yourself when you pay 20 bucks for it, you know? Maybe he should have found out about the price after he had finished eating it. Hey, Nick, maybe that's why Glenn Elge came here. Maybe he heard about the Super Fierce 20T set. If by fierce you mean fearsome, speaking of Glenn Elge, that reminds me, we still hardly know anything about the guy. Why don't we ask Detective Gumshoe what he knows, seeing as he's here? So, what were you all excited about earlier, huh? That's right, you said you were listening to the radio or something. Oh, that was nothing. I was just excited. Come on, Detective Gumshoe, you can tell little old me. What were you listening to? Nothing, really. It was just the, daily exercise show. Come on, Detective Gumshoe, don't lie to me. What the? A psych lock? This lunch special lobster sure is great. Then why are tears in your eyes? I think I can do this one already. I think. Alright, Detective Gumshoe. Tell me the truth. What were you listening to? No way, pal. Now that you've made a big thing out of it, I'm not gonna tell you. Well, see about that, pal. Considering all the noise you were making while you were listening, it's pretty clear what kind of radio program it was. I'd say it's related to... I'm right, aren't I? You were listening to the lottery results, weren't you? You thought you'd try to win big, just like Glenn Elge did. It's like you can see right through me. Huh? I've cracked him already? See, pal? That's why I said it was nothing. It was no big deal, Phoenix. I'm usually pretty lucky, so I figured I'd give it a try. What with everyone in the lottery. So, how did it go? I won 50 cents. It'd be better to win nothing at all than half a lousy buck. I was so mad. Yeah, I know the feeling. I bought the same kind of ticket as Mr. Elge did, see? And they've got this special radio show where they announce the winning numbers. They even do the drawing live on the air. It's intense, pal. I bet that Mr. Elge was listening on the day he was killed. Yeah, what time is it now? Oh, it's just after 1:30. And are the lottery results always broadcasted at the same time? Yeah. Look, I got the flyer when I bought the ticket. Geez, I can't get a break, huh? Okay. Millionaire radio. That sounds cool. I want to try, Nick. Then buy a ticket, Maya, with your own money. Okay, so we'll try and get... This guy was a real programming genius. They called him the walking computer at the place where he worked. What happened when he crashed, though? Does he just stop moving all of a sudden? Groan. He wasn't literally a computer, Maya. Anyways, there's nothing between Maggie and the victim. Yeah, that's what we found out yesterday, too. Hey, Detective Gumshoe, don't you have any information that it's a bit more fun? Fun? Oh, I know. So, have you paid a visit to where Mr. Elge worked yet? You might as well. His workplace? What's there? Where's that? A computer firm called Blue Screen Inc., or something like that. Sounds like a real stable company. This could be fun, Nick. Let's go. Computers aren't really my thing, Maya. We'll be fine. I know all about the high-tech stuff. I wonder about that. It's just around the corner from this joint. You should take a look. A computer firm called Blue Screen Inc., huh? I think we will. Wow, this place is so high-tech, you can almost smell the electricity in the air. It is a computer firm, Maya. They can't work without electricity, you know. Who are you? Oh, hello. I'm sorry, access is restricted to authorities, personal only. This is a computer programming laboratory. There are far too many trade secrets that could be leaked. Wow, what secrets? Everything you see here is classified. No information can leave this building. Understood. Who is this woman? She's like a robot from some kind of whacked educational show. My name is Lisa Basil. I'm the company director. Director? She's a human? She seems more like a ghost in a shell. And that thing over her eye, isn't that the same device as Glenn Elge? That's an DMH, right? Nice try, but it's the other way around, Maya. It's an HMD. All of my programmers here at Blue Screen Inc. are supplied with HMDs. Then do you write programs too? No, I just enjoy wearing this. They are pretty cool. I wouldn't mind one. So what exactly is this firm's business? I will try to simplify it, so you can understand. We analyze the data management system required by certain branches of industry, and then deliver optimum operating systems and source-level components to them. Huh? You lost me on the corner of analyze and management. It doesn't matter. They analyze stuff. You got that much, right? The software we produce is distributed on CDs. CDs, yes. Compact discs, digital optical storage media. Of course, CDs are used for software as well as music. It is a small firm, but all of our employees are first-class programmers. Let's ask one of them what they are doing. Excuse me, what are you working on right now? I'm researching the impact of time-slicing comment global various obvious programming influencing response times and performance, so variables in memory overhead is of vital importance. Yeah, okay. Well, you get the idea. This is the sort of thing we are involved in. Did you good people follow all that? Yeah. Your blank smile just said otherwise, Maya. You know about what happened, right, Miss Basil? You mean about Glenn being poisoned? Yes, I know it's terrible. Can you tell us anything that might be helpful? I don't think so. A police officer was here earlier, but I couldn't tell him anything either because the waitress who committed the crime has nothing to do with Blue Screen Inc. Oh. How about Mr. Elge's desk? Have you cleared it out already? No, not yet. It's this one right in front of you. If there's anything that might be useful to you, you are welcome to take it. I guess there might be a clue here somewhere. Whoa, look at this desk, Nick. What a mess. Looks pretty average to me. But you can't get any work done with everything all over the place like this, you think? Real whiz kids can work under any conditions, you know. So he's trying to hint that I should tidy my desk more. I'll clean my desk when Maya stops asking silly questions. No hurry then. Hey, this calendar. What about it? If there is another hint about tidying, you can forget about it. Someone marked December 3rd in red pen. December 3rd, that's the day Mr. Elge was murdered. Is there anything else? Yeah. It says meet the tiger? The tiger? He's really pounding that keyboard, isn't he? Wow, I bet that's where the pro in programmer comes from, huh? I guess I shouldn't be resting on my Lara. Gotta expand my skill set and all that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I could become old seedy apprentice. And what about your spirit medium training? I guess that's it. There's nothing else. Wow, look at this mess. Looks like they're all betting tickets. What kind of betting tickets? For betting on which horse will win a given race. They're horse racing tickets. Oh wow, his drawers are stuffed full of them. Looks like they're all losing though. This many tickets would get you, what, $1 down at the recycling center? But I didn't know you were so hard up that you'd try to profit from the dead, Nick. I'm just taking them as evidence, Maya. Hey, look, Nick. It's the supercomputer. It looks like it's really smart and wise, doesn't it? Computers are only as smart as the humans who use them, Maya. That explains why we don't use the computer in our office. You work there too, Maya. Yeah, but at least I'm... Please, don't argue about something that's so trivial. Otherwise, the computer will laugh at you. She said she'd laugh at us, Nick. She's a human, Maya, not a computer. These pillars almost look like they're moving. It's kind of unsettling. Nah, they just look a bit twisted or warped or whatever word I'm looking for. The office was designed with futuristic feel in mind. Futuristic? Yeah, we tried to imagine what things might look like in the future when we designed it. It helps to soothe and calm the soul. On second thought, I agree with you, Nick. This place is really unsettling. Would you mind taking a look at this? I'm sorry, that data super admin restricted desktop access password protected. Super admin restricted desktop access password protected. What? What is this madness? No, Maya. That is Spardra. She won't tell us unless we say the right code word. A code word, Sesame. If it's not Sesame, then it must be her mother's maiden name. That's how it always is. There's no point in having a password if it's always the same thing, Maya. I guess she just doesn't want to talk about this. Maybe we should focus on asking about Glenn Elge. What do you say? Well, let me ask about the lottery tickets first. Okay, same thing. And I guess I'll ask about him. About Mr. Elge. He was a top programmer. I would even say he was a genius. But he did suffer from 1 or 2 bugs in his personality. Oh, like what? He was a bit of a loser. Perhaps that would be the best way to describe it. That's what got him into trouble. What's the matter? He was a top programmer. I would even say he was a genius. So he was really no trouble at all, a model employee. Hey, wait a minute. Just now you said something about him being in trouble. We've got to find exactly what this trouble was. About Mr. Elge. Was he in some kind of trouble? I'm sorry, why would you think that? I thought you said something about it just now. You said he got himself into trouble because he was a bit of a loser. Three psych locks. I guess Mr. Elge is like every other man with his own pile of secrets. I don't know if I can do this, but I'll give it my best shot. So, how about you tell me what kind of trouble Mr. Elge was in? I'm sorry, sir, but we don't deal with troubleshooting here. Perhaps you'd like to speak to someone in customer service. What's she talking about? I guess I'd better just take a shot and see where it gets me. Miss Basil, let me ask you something. Did Mr. Elge's trouble have something to do with this? What is that? A bunch of horse racing tickets, all losing ones. With that many tickets, you could get $1 at the recycling center. You good people are very, very bad. Cashing in on the other's misfortune is immoral. Is that a whiff of hypocrisy I smell? But what is the relevance of these tickets? The victim, Mr. Glenn Elge, he had a gambling habit, didn't he? I don't think that's a logical conclusion based on the facts. Everyone likes to go to the races from time to time. Yeah, but not everyone buys this many tickets. Anyways, I don't believe that proves anything on its own. You're right, but I'm not through yet. Mr. Elge gambling wasn't restricted to horse racing, was it? The lottery, horse racing, he bought a lot of tickets and lost a lot of times. That's got to hurt his wallet pretty bad, don't you think? Maybe bad enough to be the cause of some pretty serious trouble, perhaps. No. You are right, Glenn did have a gambling habit. You good people must not follow his example, do you understand? Trust me, even if I wanted to, I don't exactly have the money to buy any. But if you win, there's no problem, is there? And Glenn had a winning ticket, didn't he? For $500,000. Yeah, but it's hard to imagine how he could have been in trouble then, isn't there? It's true that Mr. Elge won $500,000 in the end, but that was his first stroke of good luck. He was in deep trouble before that. Deep trouble? What do you mean? Mr. Elge's real problem was with someone or something more. Okay, so yeah, I can't do this one yet. I can't do it. I'll have to come back. Hey, what's up? Anyone in the kitchen? Huh? Mr. Armstrong's talking to someone. I'll be back next month. Oi, natural elemento. I will be waiting. If you haven't got it by then, I'm afraid it might get a little hot around here. No, I will have everything right, I promise. I love fire, you know. I love the way it crackles. He. No. Stop it, I beg you. Then don't let me down. I'll be watching you. No, this is not necessary. You can trust me. Madazum. Talk to anyone and I'll drive a knife right through your heart. Oh no, you don't have to worry. You know you worry far too much. Maybe this will help you relax. It is the oil of sandalwood. I do love raw meat from time to time. I'll be taking my leave. Goodbye, for now. Ugh, I have the shivers. I must rub some of my oil all over my body before I become the nervous wreck. The ver, oui, the feel good. Oh la la, excuse moi, monsieur. My eyes, your eyes. If you are having trouble with these eyes, you need the oil of sandalwood. Isn't this just the leftovers of what you were just using? Can you stop burning my eyes? You don't exactly have many customers, do you, Mr. Armstrong? No, none. You are right, Mazor. But perhaps Z is the perfect time for you to visit me, no? Z's way I can give you my undivided attention and cook for you la dish supreme. Putting on a brave face, huh? That's what girls do, Nick. But you are right, business is very difficult these days. Perhaps the name is the problem. People do not understand it, think it is a tray. I just want people to think my restaurant was exclusive. But they think you just serve fast food on cheap plastic trays. Nick, that's the kind of thing that can make a girl cry. Have you forgotten that Mr. Armstrong is a man, Maya? But the restaurant is my life. It is everything to me. I will defend it to the final. No one will take it from me. So, who was that woman you were just talking to? Oh la la, you saw that? Well, yes, sorry. So, who was she? She looked so polite and graceful. Polite? Graceful? And she likes raw meat and fire, right? I'll be back next month. Oi, natural meat. I will be waiting for you. If you haven't got it by then, I'm afraid. Okay, we just did all this. I'm not reading all of it again. I have a hard enough time reading his stuff. Now that I think about it, hey Maya, I think it's pretty clear that what kind of conversation they were having. You think so? Well, then let's show him a piece of evidence and see what happens. I don't count a piece of evidence, do I? Oh wait, yeah, I do. So long as this paper exists, I am but a delightful angel with broken wings. An angel, huh? Doesn't bode well when you think about it. Oi, you kept harassing me month after month. In the end, I'd had to give in. I agreed to help them. Help them? With what? Nothing. If I did not owe them money, I would have refused. But my hands were tied. Please, what did you agree to help them with? No, I cannot say. If I tell you, that woman will slice me up and eat me with salad garnish. Ew, I hope he doesn't mean that he'll literally be sliced up and served with garnish. I'm going to guess that woman has something to do with your loan contract, am I right? Please, Mr. Armstrong, tell us more about that woman. The woman who was here earlier, I take it she's, why, as it comes to this, what a tragedy. Suddenly, I find myself so deep in la debt. It is a sign of the bad world we live in. Huh? No, I'd say it's more of a sign of the bad coronary skills. The woman who was the scary woman, she is from the loan office. Loan office? Is that where you borrowed $500,000 from? Oui. Tender lenders is what it's called. Catchy name. Just hearing it makes me want to borrow some money. Please, you must not borrow from them. If you must, no more than $10. $10 sounds like a whole monthly stipend, Maya. Hey, I get a bit more than that, thank you very much. So Tender Lenders is a loan office you borrowed from $500,000 from? Huh. I wonder if they've got anything to do with this case. I am a weak woman. When I am upset, I have to buy something nice to cheer me up. Thanks to I'm loaning me the money, I have to pay him $500,000 now. I am like a slave. I have to do every at tells me. Who's this he? La Tiger. The tiger? Oui. He is the manager of the Tender Lender, a terrifying man, la big city mobster. When he shouts at me, my knees are trembling and his voice is ringing in my ears for 3 days. As soon as my ears the noise of that battered old scooter rides, I start to cry. A big city mobster who rides a battered old scooter. Does this guy resemble me by any chance? Oh, no. This man has a presence, a most formidable personality. Although, he does have your spiky air just like you. There is a resemblance there, I suppose. Sounds like this loan office is worth checking out after all. If you want to visit the Lender Tender, it is just beyond Vitamin Square. Hey, Nick. If you need money, I can loan you some, as long as it's less than $3. Thanks for the offer, just beyond Vitamin Square, huh? Well, I'm gonna head back to the precinct now. We've got a big meeting starting in a bit. About Maggie's case, you mean? No, that's pretty much wrapped up now. There's another big case going down at the moment, so she's been pushed aside. Okay, well, see you later then. Bye! You better get going, detective, or you'll be late. Actually, I've kind of got a favor to ask. It's a big one. A favor? Yeah. It's for, Maggie, actually. I was kind of hoping you'd give this to her for me. What is it? It's a lunchbox. I got up early so I can make it. I've been really worried about her. She looks like she's lost a lot of weight. Detective Gumshoe? How many weenies are in here? There's not a person on Earth who can down that much meat. You think? I love weenies. I can't get enough of their tender juiciness. So will you give it to her? It took me ages to make, so please say you will, pal. I can't exactly say no, can I? Maybe I'll eat it myself if I get hungry. Don't forget, okay? I'm counting on you to give that to Maggie. He's finally gone. Well, is she there right now? Nope, okay. Hey, there's the scooter again. I don't see any sign of Mr. Kudo, do you? Maybe he went to buy another ton of bird seeds. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't be here anyways, at least not for now. Besides, any more seeds today, and I'm liable to turn into a real phoenix. It's the bike again. Hey, check this out. I wouldn't get too close to that if I were you, otherwise you might be in for a shock. My phony must be lurking someplace nearby. Just imagine a tiger loose in the city. Meanwhile, the real phoenix is like an abandoned chick, lost in a vast urban jungle. Huh? Don't worry, someday you'll grow up and become a fearsome tiger too. Don't lose hope. Why is she trying to pep talk me into becoming my phony? This place gives off a really strange vibe, doesn't it? Looks like the tiger isn't here in his lair. And that is, as they say, a very good thing. Welcome. Gulp. Talk about a creepy voice. It makes your soul want to shiver up and die. You're here to discuss alone? No, not exactly. The manager is away at the moment. Wait quietly, please. She's gone, just like that. I guess we'll just have to come back another time. But this is the perfect opportunity, Nick. This place reeks of suspicion. Come on, Nick. Let's take a look around, okay? Do you think it'll be okay? Of course. No one will ever know. Coffee? I'll leave it here for you to enjoy, quietly. Yes, thank you. Do not touch the desk, please. Nick, let's get out of here. Now she wants to get out of here? Oh no, someone dropped the ashtray on the floor. That's going to be a nightmare to clean up. Yeah, it's all over the rug and everything. I accidentally knocked over a really big space heater once. Cleaning up was such a pain. It was one of those super antique where you have to burn a ton of charcoal. How did she manage to knock one of those over? Aren't they supposed to be super heavy? Oh, hey, there's a book of matches here, too. Matches, huh? Places don't give those out much nowadays. Hey, wait a second. What is it? Look what's printed on the cover. It says Tribulations. These matches could come in handy. We might be able to use them. Yeah. The pilot light for the office boiler keeps going out. Swing and a miss, Maya. Swing and a miss. Let's see, this round doll thing is called a diorama, I think? I figured I'd read a book or two and be more cultured in case you're wondering. You mean you aren't making stuff up for a change? I bet you also didn't know that no matter what, he'll always right himself. Go on, Nick, give him a good shove. Only if I feel like dying. No, now, this yellow thing, this is a Japanese chess piece. I think it's a king. Not that I'm expecting or an expert or anything. I'm more of a reversey person, you know? Assuming she knows what she's talking about, these aren't exactly your typical mobster wannabe items. They're not trophies, are they? Gulp. Hey, there's a piece of paper sticking out from under here. What is it? A repair bill. Looks like he did some repair work on his car. Does he even have one? $1,500 to replace a bumper and a light? That's insane. Or $15,000, not $1,500. The car registered to the Cadaveriness? Huh? So it's not even the tiger's car? Why would someone else's repair bill be in the tiger's office? There's a CD player on the desk, but the desk is so loud, it's a wonder you can hear it. The lid's open. I wonder what kind of music the tiger's into. Have you finished the coffee? Yes, thank you. It was lovely. So, you drank it all? He. Gulp. If you touch anything else that doesn't belong to you, There's always another cup. That coffee, it was laced with something. I'm almost sure of it. Nick, my stomach, it's killing me. Oh, wait. Maybe it was just the burger I ate for breakfast. I sure hope so. We better take a look at the CD while we're still alive and have the chance. What the? What? It's not the Rocco soundtrack, is it? Claw of the Tiger? It's a demo CD. The artist's name has been handwritten on the disc in pen. Mick Bomber. What? This must be the CD Maggie told us about. Listen to it. I bet it's heavy metal. No way. That woman will make us drink more coffee if we do. That's one impressive desk on one impressive rug. It's solid gold, Nick. Gold. Just look at that shine. Only real gold shines like that. Would you really want such a shiny desk, though? I don't know, but let's see what it's like to sit at a solid golden desk. Wow, I'm completely dazzled. That's because it's completely dazzling. I can see up my nose in the reflection. That's gotta be really distracting. So the desk isn't practical, no surprise there. Hey, look at the Parisian-style coat. It's so cliche. Looks more like a pimp coat to me. Guess I haven't got an eye for fashion. Hey, look at that. This suit is the same color as the one you wear, Nick. The same color as my suit. Keep your voice down, Maya. Nick, you've got to take a look at this. Some cake? I'll just leave it here for you. Yes, sure. Thanks. Just wait here quietly, otherwise... Sure. Did you hear that, Nick? Wait quietly, she said. Yeah, sure. I have my eye on you, only so I can take care of you, understand? I'm scared, Nick. So, what were you getting so excited about before? Look, on the lapel of the suit. That's an attorney badge. Is the tiger a lawyer? No way, look at this thing. It's made of paper. For some reason, your badge suddenly looks really cheap to me, Nick. Why doesn't anyone recognize an obvious fake badge when they see one? Come out from under the desk, Maya. What are you two snooping around in my office for? Nothing. We were just... My precious carpet. You's got ashes on my rug. You gonna wish your ugly feet never came through my door. It wasn't us. It was already... You's wanna argue with me? Is that what you're doing? You think this... you didn't... Yours can take me on? I'm gonna flatten you two into pancakes and turn you into my new rugs. Oh, Don Tiger, you're back. Act that voice. It's like evil seeping into your head through your ears. I'm sorry, Don Tiger. I knocked over that ashtray earlier, and... Eek. Has she got a death wish or what? Oh, right. Huh? Forget about it, Violeta. It's nothing. What? I ain't gonna get mad at you. You're too cute, you hear? That's so unfair. Here, have some cookies. I just baked them. And you'll need some strong espresso while you're discussing your loan. Grah, Phoenix Wright. Yes? You's either crazy or just plain stupid to chase after me. I worked so hard, but now you gotta come and mess up my plan. So it was him. He's my phony. But I don't care. No one gets in my way. What? I mean, excuse me? You should have left the little girl at home, right? I have a few things I want. No questions. This is the last time we meet. Wait, please. That was pretty weak, Nick. You waited until he was out of earshot before you shouted after him. Like you're one to talk. I didn't hear you scream hold it either. The espresso? and cookies. This woman is definitely not good for my heart. Now, what was it the tiger called her? Violeta? So, I'm kind of curious about your company, Tender Lenders. With the warm and friendly atmosphere you'd expect from a family-sized business, a consistent rate of interest, and an attractive repayment policy. Why do I get the feeling this sentence is not going to end well? We will tenderly lend you that little bit extra here at Tender Lender. Hey Nick, things are a bit tight for Wright & Co. at the moment, aren't they? I mean, there's that $500 you owe me from our card game for starters. Why don't you take out a loan? Would I like to take out a loan from a place like this? Not so much. Tender Lender is on your side. He. So, let's say I'm late with my repayments. What happens then? We'd give you more coffee. Strong coffee. Right. I think I'd rather skip town. Hey, just remember, I can make strong coffee too, Nick. Strong tea as well. So, do you know about the incident we're investigating? What incident? Well, a man was poisoned in a restaurant just near here. That incident. Let me see. I was here that day with the manager. The manager being the tiger. Ferrari tiger. Ferio tiger? Tiger? What? So, that's where the tiger thing comes from? The fake has a real name, Nick. Hurry up and find out more about him. Okay, sure. Let's go and check. Can I ask you about the tiger? I mean, Mr. Tiger? Cookie? Sure. How do you like my cookies? I bake them myself. He. Go ahead, Nick. The honor is all yours. No, ladies first, Maya. He. No matter how I look at this, I just don't get it. What are the tiger and this scary girl doing working together? We are lovers. That's not exactly coming across in your tone of voice. And I owe Don Tiger my life. He's the one who saved me. The tiger saved you? Please address him properly as Don Tiger. Otherwise, I'll have to... Okay, Don Tiger, of course, I'm sorry. He saved her life? I'd sure like to know how that happened. I'm very frail, you see. Just recently, I died once. You died? About 4 months ago. The doctor said to abandon all hope. I guess they were expecting her to take a boat ride across the river Styx. But Don Tiger, he saved me. He gave up everything. Everything? When I found out what he had done for me, I was happy. No offense, but I'm finding that a little hard to believe. I decided I'd pay him back with my life by serving him coffee and espresso. I still wonder about what's in her coffee. So, is that why you've got that bandage around your head? This? So what's the story with the bandage? They put it on after the operation. The operation? It's just a little injury. A little fatal injury. A fatal injury? Maya just suffered one herself by the sounds of it. So that's the injury you were talking about before when you said you had just died once. Oh, great. Arg, she really creeps me out, Nick. Same here, but we've got to find out the truth. I don't think I have enough yet. There he is. Old Seedy's back, feeding the pigeons again. There, take this, and get out of my park. Like I thought, he's really mad. Come on, Maya. Just keep your head down and let's sneak away while we still can. What? Why? Hello, old man. What are you doing, Maya? Huh? Hey, he just turned his back on us. I'm not surprised. I bet I really hurt his pride in court this morning. Hey, Mr. Kudo. Pigeon? Look, we really need to talk to you, alright? Out with the demons. In with the good fortune. Ow. Siege. Shell splittings. Painful. I always knew you were a demon, Maya. I'm sorry about what happened in the court earlier. Everyone will be talking about me behind my back now. A dirty old man was so busy looking at the server's girl's backside that he can't remember her face. A filthy, depraved animal. Not at all. Are you listening to me, boy? I don't care what you say. I saw that waitress put it in. She put some white powder into the young lad's coffee. We hear you. And another thing, the young layabout was wearing an earpiece on the same side as the lens of the broken spectacles. We're sorry. So I made a little mistake about the vase. So what? I know what I saw. I tell you. Okay, take it easy, please, Mr. Kudo. Don't tell me to take it easy, you spiky hair brat. Take this. You said you were a craftsman, right? The modern world casts honor craftsmen like me aside in droves. Surely it's not that. I come from a long line of craftsmen right back to the time of the Shoguns. Do you hear me? I didn't become an embroiderer. I was born one. Actually, I'm kind of in the same situation myself. I wanted to stick my fingers up that dribbling old judge's nose and scream right down his earhole, objection! Oh, so did you want to become a lawyer when you were young? I don't think that's quite it, Maya. I think he's just in a bad mood, that's all. I've got a tsunami of frustration inside and it's just ready to burst out. If we let him start rambling now, we might never shut him up. What should I do? Suck it up. Guess I better let him talk. So there's not much call for craftsmen these days then? Of course not, you idiot. All I'm good for nowadays is running errands. Errands? Everyone takes advantage of the elderly. Buy some bread, Gramps. Take the dog for a walk, Granddad. Feed the pigeons, old man. What am I, some sort of two-bit community handyman? Well, buy some bread, now that I understand. But what's the point of feeding some seedy pigeons? Why don't people say what they mean? Get lost, that's what they're trying to say. Oh yes, I'm just an inconceivable, you see? At home, at that restaurant, I just get in the way, don't I? I'm sorry, you don't. Wait a minute, what did he just say? At home and at that restaurant? Hold up, by restaurant, are you talking about Trespian? Did you get asked to run an errand there too? Yes, I did, the very day that young brat was poisoned. Well, what? So on the day of the incident, what were you asked to do? Glad you asked, boy, because I'll tell you what I was asked to do. All of a sudden, that young lad slumped over the table. The servant girl collapsed. And I broke that vase. It all happened so fast I was in a bit of a daze, you see. Then the owner shouted over to me. Excuse me, you called the police. Call them yourself. I should have said back, but I didn't. I didn't think of it at the time. So did you end up calling the police? Like I said, I was in a bit of a daze. Did you call them on your cell phone? Do I look like I'd have one of those newfangled thingamajigs? I went out looking for a payphone, of course. You went looking for one? I couldn't find one right away, you know. Wandered around for 5 minutes or so. For 5 minutes? So for 5 minutes after the incident happened? Yes, sirree, the owner was at Chespian on his own. Why didn't you mention this in the court this morning? Well, I would have if you'd given me the chance. But you all bullied me out of the courtroom. Sigh, thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. Oh yes, I remember something. Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom. It's not my fault you're the ones to blame. You could have at least told us before we got to court. Is it really that important that Mr. Kudo was the one who called the police? What's important is the unaccounted time before the police arrived. The victim was dead, and Maggie was unconscious, which leaves that man alone in the restaurant. Mr. Kudo might have been chased out of the place on purpose. What do you mean? Maybe a certain someone didn't want him in the restaurant. Oh sure, you go ahead and say I was in the way as usual. I suppose I should have been getting myself covered in pigeon poop instead. We need to get more details about what exactly happened from Maggie and from Mr. Armstrong. Looks like Mr. Armstrong's out again, but the place is open for business. You can't have an open restaurant without a chef. Hey, it's not my fault, Nick. Don't take it out on me. Only a couple of minutes after the incident happened, Mr. Kudo left the scene, leaving Mr. Armstrong here alone. Arg, missing when we need to talk to him the most. Maybe he's trying to avoid us on purpose. Let's go to Maggie then. Oh, Mr. Wright. Hello, Maggie. So they finished questioning you? Wasn't it just unbelievable in court today, sir? I'm gonna stay up all night and blog about everything that happened. Weren't you scared? It was pretty touch and go there. Yeah, but you totally nailed that old man. Well, he was all over the place with his testimony. He's not the only one, huh? What do you mean? Everyone else's testimony doesn't match up either. Not with what I remember of the incident anyways. Is it possible she is the one misremembering things? Let's give her the food first. Here you go. Have some food. Oh yeah, I've got something you're going to love. Really? What is it? A lunchbox just for you. Here. Wow, a lunchbox. Weenies too. I can't believe it. Thank you, sir. Did you make this just for me, Mr. Wright? Nah, it was Detective Gumshoe. Who else would make such a nice lunchbox for you? Detective Gumshoe. He's really worried about you. Looks like he put a lot of effort into making this too. I can't accept it. Detention center rules, no gifts allowed, sir. Hey, come on, Maggie, don't be like that. The rules are the rules. They'll lock you up if you break them. Somehow, when an ex-cop turned witness says that, it seems a whole lot scarier. And anyway, I hate weenies. Oh, really? It's all yours, Maya. You can enjoy it with Mr. Wright. But... She's right. It's better than letting it go to waste. But... I guess so. Well, how was it? That hit the spot. I love weenies. Oh, good. I'm glad I gave it to you then, sir. Maggie, you know how you said everyone else provided testimony that doesn't match up with what you remember? Yep, there are just so many things that don't seem to add up. The biggest contradiction is the other guy I saw at the victim table. He was the one who slipped something into the victim's coffee, I'm sure of it. But didn't Mr. Kudo testify earlier today that it was the waitress who put the white powder into the coffee? So you really think it was this disappearing man that did it? Well, he's not the only thing that disappeared. The CD vanished as well. You know, the CD with the writing on it? Oh yeah, the Mick Screwdriver album, right? It was Mick Bomber, Maya. That name was scrawled on the sports paper as well. They never did find this CD at the crime scene, sir. Or the victim's medication that's gone missing too. Ouch, my head. This is getting way too complicated for me. You said that you passed out when the victim, Glenn Elledge, collapsed, right? Yes, it was so embarrassing. I mean, I used to be a cop. When I came to the restaurant, was buzzing with police, and before I knew what was going on, they arrested me, sir. So between the time the vitamin collapsed, the time the police arrived on the scene. Wait, so between the time the victim collapsed and the time the police arrived on the scene, you have no idea what went on at Tribulations. No idea at all. Why is it important, Mr. Wright? The other witness, the old man from the park, was pretty much chased out of the picture. Chased out of the picture? What do you mean? Old CD wasn't inside the restaurant because he was told to go call the police. Exactly. And you, Maggie, were unconscious. That means Mr. Armstrong was all alone in the restaurant for a brief period of time. No. You don't think Mr. Armstrong set me up, do you? When you consider the facts, it's hard to imagine that Mr. Armstrong isn't involved in this at all. Grr. It's like the master biting the paw of the dog that it feeds. Are you sure about this, Mr. Wright? Well, the old man said as much when we spoke with him earlier. I don't know. The things that the man says don't add up for some reason, sir. Maggie looks like she's trying to figure out something. Maybe we should ask Maggie exactly what she knows about Old Seedy. Okay, sure. Let's ask about Old Seedy. Where's Old Seedy? I feel much better after the trial this morning. I've been a bit of a courtroom proceeding addict for years now. It feels like forever since I saw a witness as slippery as that old man. He's not really that bad of an old man, though. Still, I feel a bit uneasy. Huh? I thought you just said you felt much better. Maggie, if there's something on your mind, you've got to tell us. Especially if it has anything to do with Mr. Kudos or his testimony. Roger, I'll spill it all and see what you make of it. Is there anything about Mr. Kudos' testimony that stood out as odd to you? Actually, yes. The fact that he was even testifying to begin with doesn't quite what? Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true, there was another customer in the restaurant. Yeah, we know that already. It was Victor Kudo. But I can't really say it was an old man. Okay, then how about calling him a really old middle-aged man? No, age isn't the issue. The other customer was a woman. A woman? Are you sure, Maggie? Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So, what did this woman look like? She was sort of creepy, and she had a kind of cackling laugh. Creepy? Cackling? Why do I get the feeling I've come across a woman like that recently? You want to talk about her? I know I used to be the police officer, but I'm incarcerated. Okay, you're not gonna... Okay. The main server just went up in smoke. Why the heck isn't the press conference set up yet? The superintendent's here already. Yeah, and there's a problem with the internet too. I already told you to stop using your computer, Chief. But I'm watching videos online. I'm catching up on my Asian soap operas. It's gonna have to wait, Chief. I'm throwing the switch. No! Just when some young guy was about to confess to his son, Hot Two Trout girlfriend. Wow, this place is really buzzing. Something must be going down. Something really big. Huh? What are you doing here, pal? Detective Gumshoe. You can't be here right now. You'll be roped into the briefing if you stay. Huh? We've got big problems here today. Why? What's going on? It's a virus. A virus. A virus? There's a virus ripping through the precinct computer system. But I really need to ask some questions. Okay, I'm only gonna say this once, so listen up. Yes, no matter how poor you get, never borrow money from a place like that. You hear? Okay. If you got money troubles, just go on a diet of instant noodles and hang in there. We're not thinking about borrowing money, Detective. We want information. Oh, is that all? Well, let's see. Tender lenders is considered to be even fishier than the average illegal loan shark. And it seems it runs into trouble just recently. Those guys have been pretty heavy-handed calling in all their debts. Really? Don't go poking your nose around in their business, pal. You'll really regret it if you upset that lady. Alright, I get the picture. Hey, wait a minute. What did he just say? That lady? Who's this lady he's talking about, Nick? We better find out what the story is with this lady. So what exactly is a computer virus, Detective Gumshoe? I don't know. What? Look, I just go with the flow, alright, pal? And here I thought a detective was supposed to be somewhat knowledgeable. What's with the face, pal? You think you know what a virus is? Well, Nick, do you? A computer virus, sure. I mean, only in simple terms, of course. Really? Wow, you know everything, Professor Nick. Yeah, I'm gonna call you Dr. Wright from now on. Hey, that sounds pretty cool. Don't you agree, Dr. Wright? Why do I get the feeling they're making fun of me? Okay, fine. I'm no expert, but I can at least explain the basics to you two. A virus is a program that gets inside a computer and causes damage. Damage? You mean it's making the machines go boom and explode? No. The damage is, well, it's all internal. So the inside goes boom, right? Imagine all the case files you've got stored on your PC here in the station. A virus could wipe out all of them. That's the kind of damage I'm talking about. Whoa, that's scary. Yeah, and what's even more scary is that the viruses are infectious. Infectious? Most computers are connected together on a network, right? A virus can move from one machine to another over the network. So the virus just keeps spreading faster and faster. Huh. Just like a real virus, huh? But Nick, why would anyone want to make a program like that? Yeah, it takes ages to type in all that data. Why would you want to destroy it, pal? No, people don't infect their own machines. They send the virus to someone else. What? That's horrible. Oh, I get it. It's like you sneezing on Mr. Goddard so he catches a cold. Right. Then he wouldn't be able to turn up in court because he'd be too sick. You really shouldn't be doing stuff like that, Nick. It's wrong. Who, what, where, when, and why did the conversation jump to talking about me? Anyway, that's what a computer virus is, a bad program that causes damage. And all the different viruses have names, right? I kind of feel like I've heard the name of the virus we caught somewhere before. The name of a virus, huh? I feel like I've heard of it too. Let's see. About this. What? I'm trying to... that's it. That's the stupid name. I remember now. I thought so. Here it comes. Don't just nod to yourself and keep me in the dark, Nick. What's going on? It's okay, Maya. You don't have to cry about it. The name scribbled on the sport paper and written on that CD. That's the name of the virus. McBomber. What? Yeah, the virus that's just infected every computer in the station, pal. It's McBomber. Can you give us any more details, please? We already know about the McBomber virus from a while back. A group of criminals issued a series of demands to the head honcho of law enforcement. They threatened to release the virus if their demands weren't met. Who are they? I don't know. Some hotshots from the criminal underworld would be my guess. And now the virus has been released, huh? Yeah. It's in every computer in every public office in the city. Everyone's going nuts. They're hopping around like they're dancing at a carnival. All this stuff with the criminals and the virus, it almost feels like we're in a sci-fi movie. Apparently, the programmer who made the virus was a real genius or something. The focus right now is on tracing the root of this virus on the black market. You mean someone put this virus up for sale? Yeah, and because this one's so powerful, they're estimating its price tag was in the millions of dollars, pal. In the millions? A virus could be worth that much? That's the girl who worked over at Tender Lenders. You want to stay away from her, okay? I mean it. She does look kind of unforgiving, doesn't she? That should be the least of your worries, pal. What's that supposed to mean? What could be worse? Her name's Viola Kadavarian. She's the only granddaughter of Bruto Kadavarian. Bruto Kadavarian? Do you know who that is, Nick? Never heard of him. Bruto Kadavarian, the boss of the Kadavarian family. The Kadavarians? That's one scary sounding name. We can't touch them. They're way too powerful for the police. But you're thinking of taking them on, aren't you? No, I don't remember ever saying I was going to. I better get some more information out of Gumshoe about this family. I'm not sure if I really want to get involved in this, but who are the Kadavarians? Who are they? A scary bunch of people, that's who. You're a cop and you're scared? What's that about? Trust me, it doesn't matter if you're a kid, a cop, these guys are scary. They've got some serious clouts in the criminal underworld. We can't touch them. They've got too much moolah. Moolah? As in, they pretty much control all the cash on the city black market. The black market, huh? And that includes Tender Lender, I take it. Sure. No one stands up to Bruto Kadavarian, and I mean no one. Interesting. So, Viola's the granddaughter of some mafia boss then? Yeah, and everyone knows how much Bruto loves his little girl. She means everything to him. So, how did she end up at Tender Lenders? I don't know, pal. But I heard she and the boss of Tender Lenders are pretty tight. Tight? That's what it said in a file I read related to Maggie's case. Sounds like a pretty important clue. Arg, I can't believe it. I almost forgot the most important thing, and that is, you know the lunchbox? How did everything go? Lunchbox? You remember? The weenies. I hate weenies. Oh, yeah, those weenies. So, how did my weenies taste when they went down the hatch? Huh? Well, it was delicious. Yeah, that's what you said, really? Well, not exactly. Don't worry about it, pal. I figured something would happen, so I came prepared. Prepared? What do you mean? I made a jumbo lunchbox. Oh, do me a favor, huh, pal, and deliver this? This sure is a heavy burden, in more than one way. I can just imagine Maggie's little eyes sparkling with joy when you bring her that. Weenies again, Nick. Tell me we don't have to eat all these too. I really can't eat anymore. Is she there? I was gonna give her the weenies again. Are you hiding still? Okay. Okay, I'm still missing some stuff. I think I'm missing some stuff. I'll get a shot. I don't know. You said that bandages around your head was from an operation. You also said you suffered a fatal injury to your head, correct? Yes. The operation was very difficult, apparently. Now, by fatal injury, you mean you were hurt very badly somehow, right? Did the injury in question have something to do with this? There's so many clues right now. I have here a car repair bill. From this, it seems pretty obvious that a car was involved in an accident. Let me see that. This bill is made out to the Cadavarians. Yes, it is. I don't think I ever introduced myself. Tell me, what do the Cadavarians have to do with me? Something tells me she's not about to say hi and introduce herself. Alright then. Your relationship with the Cadavarians is very strong, and this is why. Because I know exactly who you are, Viola Cadavarian. You sustained that injury in a traffic accident, didn't you? It happened about 4 months ago. I was driving in one of the family cars when someone pulled out in front of me. It was a motorbike or something like that. I don't remember it much. Anyways, I swerved to try and avoid it, but I took a blow to the head. A bad one. Yeah, I can imagine. So what happened to the person on the bike? I'm guessing they didn't get away with injury. The Viola Cadavarian, right? I don't know what happened to them. They ran away, or so I heard. Ran away? If they'd stay, I'd have is it possible? Could the person who committed the hit and run have ran away? Nope, wrong one. It was this man, wasn't it? He was the cause of your accident. It wasn't Don Tiger. I refuse to believe it. We collided, the motorbike and my car. But Don Tiger isn't injured at all, is he? It was the Tiger who caused Violet to crash. I can feel it. Plus, one of her locks just broke, so she must suspect it was him too. I'm sorry, Miss Cadavarian, but I have proof that the Tiger was involved in the traffic accident on the bike. It's not exactly a motorbike, but Mr. Tiger rides around on a scooter, doesn't he? And you'll notice that the front wheel guard is badly damaged. Miss Cadavarian, You know the truth, don't you? He. This repair bill was paid by Furio Tiger. The Cadavarians have known for ages who caused the accident, haven't they? It's possible, perhaps. Somewhere inside me, I know that may be true. I knew it. But Don Tiger still saved my life. The operation was very complicated. It was very, very expensive. How much are we talking? Very, very expensive. She seems kind of hesitant about giving me an actual figure. I should back off. Well, anyways, if it was the tiger who paid for it, right? After I recovered, Don Tiger told me. He said he paid for the operation because he cared about me. I believe him. Really? But do you honestly believe that to be true? Do you want to know what I think? I think the reason he paid for the operation wasn't because of you, but because of someone else. Perhaps I shouldn't be saying this, but your grandfather, Bruto Cadavarian, controls a lot of dubious cash, right? And you are his beloved pride and joy. Sure, I don't know exactly how much the operation cost, but if you weren't the granddaughter of Mr. Cadavarian, do you think Mr. Tiger would have paid the money? $1 million. $1 million. 4 months ago, I was in a traffic accident. That's why I needed an operation. When I woke up, they told me it was nothing serious, a simple procedure. Oh, really? Well, I guess if she recovered in 4 months, it couldn't have been too big. They said the operation cost $1 million. $1 million bucks? My grandfather ordered Don Tiger to pay $1 million in compensation. Compensation, huh? It's underworld lingo for paying money to settle a score. Basically, pay or get into a serious trouble. But $1 million bucks? This has to be related to our poisoning case somehow. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust what Don Tiger said. He said it had nothing to do with my grandfather being Bruto Cadavarian. I wanted to believe he helped me because he cared about me, not because about my grandfather. But I knew that wasn't really true. Wow, I'm sorry. What he did to get the money was evil. He said it was all for me, so I helped him. You helped him? In what way? Here, take these. What are these? Medical papers? I'm Bruto Cadavarian's granddaughter. He had to pay compensation. He was made an offer he simply couldn't refuse. Wow, I feel so bad for Viola. It's inexcusable. Huh? There are two things that I consider inexcusable: poisoning and betrayal. Only a coward would hurt people using either of those tactics. And is everything all right, Nick? We should get going. Right after we finish our espresso. Yeah. I won't need to convince Viola or of anything else, so I guess I can get rid of this. Are you here yet? Darn you. Do. Nope. Okay, well, who else has a psych lock? I know this guy does, but he's not here. Am I missing something from you? I checked everything here. What's this? It's a punching bag. What? No way. You wouldn't catch me walking around with a bag like this. What do you mean, walking around? The design's gross to start with, and it's way too heavy to be practical. And why is it called a punching bag? Don't people know massager bags are in? I know. I knew it. I was right before back at Tribulations. Paris fashion is more my thing. I really, really hope she's pulling my chain on this one. Okay. I don't think there's anything else. Okie dokie. There's nothing he's hiding right now. Oh. Do you want to know about this? Okay. You want to talk about McBomber? We already did. Oh wait, she was hiding something, wasn't she? Yes, okay. Okay. I think we got it this time. So, how about you tell me what kind of trouble Mr. Elge was in? I'm sorry, sir. Blah, blah, blah. Something to do with this? Mr. Elge met with someone on the day he was killed. He even made a note on the calendar about the meeting. Meet with the tiger. What is the relevance of that? Are you trying to suggest Glenn was meeting with him to discuss his debt? Yeah, that's what I am thinking. But I have never heard anything about this tiger before. Maybe he's not even human. Maybe he really is a tiger. I'm no programmer, but does she really expect me to buy such messed up logic? In that case, I think it's time to introduce you to the tiger. Furio Tiger, aka the Tiger, is the boss of a loan office called Tender Lender. This is the who Mr. Edge met with. This is the who Mr. Elge met with on the day of the murder. And the only thing a loan shark would talk with him about would be his debt. No. It's true that Glenn had racked up quite a bit of debt from his gambling habit. Go on. About $100,000, I think. $100,000. Ouch. But I heard he won the lottery, so he should have been in the clear. Shame Maggie couldn't get a bit of that good luck. Okay. So the guy got lucky and won the lottery. But what if he hadn't won? What was his plan then? Well, this isn't easy to say, but he said he would use his talent to repay the money. His talents. I suspect he was talking about programming. Well, what computer program is worth $100,000? Perhaps you good people should leave so I can get back to work. I'm so close to cracking her. The program in question, was it by any chance this? Well, this is it, isn't it? This is the virus that infected computers worldwide as we speak. McBomber. No! Glenn's head had more processing power than any computer, but it had been infected with a gambling virus. Glenn was in too deep. You mean he was in debt? Yes, $100,000 in debt. Not an easy amount to repay. So he said he was taking on some extra work, something a bit risky. Risky? How? Maybe he was going to become a waitress at Tribulations. Where do you come up with these ideas? So it's safe to say Mr. Elge was the creator of this virus, huh? The McBomber virus, yes. It was a work of genius, in a bad sort of way, of course, but still genius. Something like this would probably fetch several $1 million on the black market. Inconceivable. Gumshoe was right for a change. This date, December 3rd, that is marked on his calendar. That was the deadline for repaying his debt. I guess we won't be needing these horse racing tickets anymore. Glenn Elge losing horse tickets thrown in the floor. Use the trash can, Nick. Okay, so there, we got it. Can I go now? Hey, Bajor, I have been waiting for you to return. Mr. Armstrong. Good timing. I was hoping to find you here. We'd like to ask you a few questions. Well, he hasn't got anything to say to you fellows. It's the fake. Who are you calling the Oopie? Come out from under the table already, Maya. Okay, hand it over. Well, what? You want to play games with me? I don't recommend that. The medical papers now. Uh-oh, I think he wants Viola Caravarian's papers back. You mean this? The $1 million medical papers? Miss Caravarian trusted you. That's why she said that she helped you. Forget about it. That girl's dumber than an eggplant. Yous want to know what's sad? I'll tell you what's sad, and it ain't only her face. She thinks she's got power because she's Bruto's little girl. Now that's sad. I can't let you have these papers. Tomorrow in court, I'm going to expose what you did to get the $1 million you used to pay this off. Are you crazy or something? I don't care if you want to give them to me or not. There's two of us here. You got that? Two. Oi, wee. Mr. Armstrong? Forgive me. Docile, I cannot argue wisdom. Ow. Don't beat me up. Arg. That really hurt. Is that all you's got? I'll be taking those papers now. Armstrong, get that lighter. Wait. Don't take it too hard, Phoenix Wright. That was so stupid. I shouldn't have let my guard down. Those medical papers were vital evidence. Hold it, pal. Detective Gumshoe. Detective. You think you're gonna stop me, copper? Beat it. Grog. Whoa. Come on, Gumshoe. Keep it together. You guys, get out of here. Leave this guy to me. But, go, pal, and take this. If you get hurt, who's gonna look after Maggie, huh? Alright. Thanks, Gumshoe. Wait, Nick, don't leave me behind. I'll get even with that guy tomorrow in court. Tender Lenders is going down. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes. No. That wasn't doubt. That was, determination. Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You'd better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you. Hey, pal. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway. Oh, you look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help. Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy? Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of the aromatherapy bottles. This is the small bottle that turned up in Tribulations' kitchen a couple days ago. Wow, look at all these little bottles. Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor. Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from the others. Well, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either. And it doesn't smell. We finally got the analyst results back from the lab. So, what is it? Is it poison? I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication. Medication? Yeah, for the ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears, you mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Elwich was using for the ruptured eardrum. What was Glenn Elwich's ear medication doing in the kitchen? What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but that's gotta be weaken the impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnably to die. Got it? You got it. Today's trial, I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bride. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting, as always, Your Honor. Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday, we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claimed to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness' testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The marks on the rim of the cup show that the victim drank from it with his right hand, but according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Goddett. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear, yet the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Ha. Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Goddett. Can you just leave? I don't want to deal with you anymore. I gotta clean my glasses. Sorry, guys. I do love the sweet jazz of Mr. Goddett's theme song. You've lost me already, Mr. Goddett. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday's mystify you today. That's all I'm saying. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved those contradictions? You know the answers to those riddles. The old guy wasn't just throwing seeds in here. He was throwing us off the scent. And today, I'll prove it. Very well. Let the first witness take the stand. Of course it's you. I can't read you. Oh, bonjour, everyone. I am Gene Armstrong, the owner and chef of La Tribulations restaurant in Chantilly. Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? Ooh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am the pert and perky gentleman, non? On the day of the incident, you were in Tribulations' kitchen. Isn't that right? Was you, monsieur? Everything feels right. Ha. Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Well, very well. Your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Tribulations. Oi, or we. I always say oi, but I'm pretty sure it's we. Even though I'm thinking it's with a W. I'm bad at French. Oi! What do you think you're doing? When it all happened, there were 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decorations there, like having a large mirror between la table, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what la man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, and la glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, none? Mirror? Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror. And suddenly, the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. When it all happened, there were 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decorations that day, like having a large mirror between the table, for example. Boy, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. How big a mirror are we talking about here? Something about 4 meters wide and we about 2 meters high? Let's see, if 1 meter is about 1 yard, holy glasses in a frame, that's huge. I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually. The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember. No, but I decided not to go through with it. It is the end. What should I do? Should I ask him? Sure, I guess. I don't really know anything contradiction, and if you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about mirror in Mr. Kudo's or Maggie's bride's testimony. But... You didn't ask right. You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work. What? A mirror was delivered to Tribulations the day before the incident. But really? Ask Mr. Armstrong's testimony. He was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Tribulations, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. Ha! If you want to doubt someone, try look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough. So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflection in the mirror. Perhaps it was the man who... Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object. Normally? How does normality come into this? That's lame, Trite, even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it is impossible? Is that it? Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here? Well, Trite? Not my hair. I do not have a top knot. Mr. God is correct. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument. Logic is won the day. Everything? He would have seen everything in reverse. Hey Nick, we should take a sec and think about what old CD said in his testimony. How did he phrase it again? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question. You can look me in the eye. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. If he saw everything he described reflected in the mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right, huh? And that clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess, or does it? It's kind of hard to believe everything the fault of a mirror, but do you think old CD saw everything through a reflection? If he did, it would explain all the contradiction in his testimony. But that just makes the situation worse for Maggie. There's got to be something in the old man's testimony. We've got to dig deeper. 2 customers in the restaurant. And who were the 2 customers exactly? Mizzy, of course, the young man who died, and the other not-so-young man. Are you referring to yesterday's witness, I presume? What about the other man Maggie said she saw at the table? Something's telling me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to discuss his existence. We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we? I guess I'll have to try a different approach for the time being. I remember I was experimenting with the art... You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard of this before today? Are you not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur? Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell us the court about this before? But I did, just a few moments ago. Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of decorature? No, Art Deco. It's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design, wall, ceiling, carpet, that kind of thing. Yes, of course, that deco. I was trying to achieve a more effeminate look for my restaurant. I was planning the most bold remodeling of the decor. Like having mirrors. Okay, something doesn't seem right. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. So, to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw all that as a reflection in the mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactly. You see, Mizo, now that you think about it, it is not that hard. No, so hard. Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudos really did see everything in the mirror, why is it that his HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Order. Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflection in the mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye.
Objection.
How bitter. Trite, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks. You remember this, I presume? The I broke the vase, sorry apology Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elge? Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elge HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh, yes. They were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear. Speculars. Ha. Well, Trey. That's the worst, but best impression of Kudo ever. Wow, I really thought he was old seedy for a minute there. God, it's good. Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsible, rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of contradiction you found is just a rash. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can a lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears. I can explain. please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant. Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably? The mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two aisles. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victim. That was where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. I see no problem with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victim, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little quality. I am confusing all the men like this. Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in cold sweat over there again. Arg, I hate that guy. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror? Are you quite sure about that? Absolutely, of course. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please. I don't believe he was sitting there, so that's a big contradiction there. And where would that be? Ooh la la, look when you learn towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once. I attract the older ones too. You know, handsome. Shall I tease you too? Nah. I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time. I bet she has macho cream skin and cappuccino perfume. Leon, I will tell you, there was only one seat from which you could have seen. Okay, so that was pointless, great. So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? Mazur, it's obvious, no? If you take a look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror like so. If you were sitting at the table next to him, you would see everything, no? So that's the old CD was sitting on that day when the poisoning happened. The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim. Why does that seem kind of odd? That does seem odd. I wasn't 100%, but it looks like I'm right. Mr. Kudo's words yesterday strongly contradict Mr. Armstrong's testimony. This is the letter of apology that was written by Mr. Kudo, is it not? I realize it looks useless, Your Honor, but this is still testimony. Ha! I guess useless people are only really good at identifying useless things. What relevance does this scrap of paper have to do with the trial, Mr. Wright? Mr. Kudo's testimony is actually very, very relevant to the question at hand, Your Honor. Because it's very clear contradiction with this piece of evidence. Oh God, what is it? Oh, I see it. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist? Ha, sounds like you're describing yourself, trite. Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is that something that should not exist in this photo? There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudos was not, in fact, sitting at that table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim reflecting from. Exactly. There is only one conclusive conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Muy bien. Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Goddard, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear? Ha! You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then I'll be in much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember that Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table, and there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradiction of Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. The ear doctor made a mistake. The victim was a phony. This case is riddled with contradictions, yet there is one simple answer that cleans them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elge at all. It was an imposter, a phony, pretending to be Mr. Elge. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Hooey! Order in the court. Settle down or I'll clean the courtroom. Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh? What did you say? Trite, are you saying that Mr. Kudo saw what was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elge and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about is in his testimony was this serving girl brought him a coffee, but she was putting something in it. That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but there was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bride in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chief the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. That's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such a theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Ooh la la, Z is most difficult for me. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You were under oath after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Tribulations that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tells the whole truth about what happened. The defense request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events of the restaurant that day. The victim, Monsieur L.E., came to my restaurant alone. I remember that old man arrived not long after. There were no other customers. When he got the word he won the lottery, Mon Elge became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later, the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for a phony to do the acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant at all? Jivos demanded pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted the mess to be cleared up quickly. What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later. For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please. He took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. La victim... Okay, yeah, we already read this. There was no other customers. I'm gonna have to press. I don't see anything. Was he alone at the table as well? I saw him in front of the kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Bride, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Ha. Unfortunately for you, Trite, yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like this reminds me of a certain coffee bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. Remember, the old man arrived not long after him. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, right? Correct? He came often for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy, Monsieur Manzor. You are most welcome anytime. I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So, old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more details. Yes, what time? Out of curiosity, about what time was it that when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh, no, I cannot remember, Manzo. I believe we were told by the witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 by a kind of scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived, so the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m., no? Just after 2, huh? Okay, I think that's vital. I remember that old man arrived. There it is. Found it. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Oh, what? What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. Oui, the most be the show Mon Elge was listening to. I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder... You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2, correct? Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu. Get to the point, Troy, if you have one. That show is broadcasted live at 1:30 p.m., and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30. Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when he was announced that he won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! This victim, we've been told about, has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that's already been over, there is only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elges in Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elge, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen Elge acting out the event for Mr. Kudos to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? Quite a performance, Troy. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhyme to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just 2 p.m. The phony Elge is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain, then, where the real Glen Elge is? I don't believe I have to spell that out to the court. However, at this time, the real Glen Elge was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thanks you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. Well, what? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elge, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? Yeah. The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecutor's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? What's with this intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I thought I had him with the contradiction, but he turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Elge concealed? It would have to been dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside of a restaurant? Perhaps you would take care and show the court on the plans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Sure, why not? The exact location where the body was hidden was... The body was hidden here. I see. Nice superstition? But the real question is, can you back it up? Where the evidence that proves the body was hidden in this location? Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality, only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations. Oui? But I only ever use the bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oils, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elge visited an ear doctor and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the content of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription that was given to Mr. Elge. Glenn Elge murdered him. The murderer hid the body in the restaurant's kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Dion. Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bride. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. No. It's your fault. Order. This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elge? Never. I could not do such a thing. Not a horrible thing like that. No. Why is Got It screaming? Mr. Got It? The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with an empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in my ear? My high definition friend. Gee, vos demand pardon? Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. Yo hablo español. Mr. Armstrong and por favor is Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? No, I did not do it. Absolutely no. Let's hear it. You've got one shot. Right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. God's coffee mug awaits you, as does my gavel. It is clear. What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with it because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear. You must believe me. Okay, I believe you. You were forced? By who? I cannot, or I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elge died, was he really the only person at his table? There was another man. I knew it. Maggie was telling the truth. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell the name of the real killer. Did you carry the body by yourself? I carried Maggie too. Maggie too? When she saw the victim collapse, she fainted. I could not leave there. But why did you hide the bodies? A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. Okay. What man? Who was he? No, I cannot say. I fear for my life. He really scared. You'll just have to put the words in his mouth, Nick. Yeah, you're right. If he won't tell me, I'll tell him. But why would you go along with this man? Do I really have to... Is that it? Is that what I gotta do? That seems too easy. Let's end this dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you've been referring to. Who is that? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a month ago in this very courtroom? This man is Furio Tiger. He's the manager of a loan office called Tender Lenders. There's no point in trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tiger, at least not while you had this on you. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you. It is as you say. Mr. Armstrong, the tiger, he told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business renovation. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and incontinent Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tiger. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket, was that your doing as well? No, I know nothing of that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable. Mr. Goddard, you will summon this Fury Tiger as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. 30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see it to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. Don't sit back and relax yet, trite. No one will know if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Goddard. We will resume once Mr. Tiger is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Goddard picked up on that, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he is testifying is the truth. You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, what are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end. Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little mist top knot. It's not a top knot. Never mind about the hair, just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kind of get wound up. Ah, no kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal? Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I could get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprints analyzed done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? If you're going back to the station anyways, could you get the fingerprints off this? Oh, hey, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Goddard, did you find this furry tiger? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job. No problem. Detained? The guy named may be Furio Tiger, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites. Very well, please show Mr. Tiger to the stand. Witness. Oh, okay. Whoa. Don't hide under the table, Maya, unless there is room for me down there too. Would you mind? What'd you say to me? No, nothing. I didn't say nada. Honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I got business to take care of. You hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor. Oh dear. I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me. Just carry on the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me here? There is no need to shout. We can all hear you. What'd you say to me? There is no point in struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hauled you in. Grr. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bride? Maggie who? I've got nothing important to do than watch courtroom drama. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix, right? You's the one who set this up, didn't you? You's gonna regret the day you raffled the tiger fur. You hear what I'm saying? Gulp. Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Get a grip, Nick. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with the business in December last year. I spent all my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. Who's wanna check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. At last, I found my pen. Very well, then. Mr. Wright, you're cross-examined. Okay, lost my pen again. What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you's gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger. I love a good spectacle sport. Just a minute. That's really not... This witness is... How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's head off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. The court will impose a penalty for every irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? Come on, Maya. I don't know what to do because I didn't. I'm gonna save. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. That's a lie. That's a lie. Okay, that didn't work. Let's get a penalty. I got whales light up borrowed cash from tender lender every single day. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. You see these teeth? See how sharp my secretary is? Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadavari? She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. Grrr. You never mind. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder, so now what? Mr. Tiger, what is you want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. This is a dead end, Trite, and you know it. Remember the rules. No, it is essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Where were you in the office that day too? Maybe you ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness' last statement was important. Mr. Goddard, if you could please. Mr. Tiger, the court asks you to add the last testament to your statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. Okay. Well, that is false. Can I can I object to it now? There we go. Mr. Tiger, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elge, but it appears that Mr. Glenn Elge knew you. What? Mr. Elge left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tiger, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elge, because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Grah! Not bad. You's actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with yous to see how good you were. Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Please, he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You's calling me a liar? Is that what you's doing? Row. So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You's better believe that it's the truth. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tiger. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court, witness? He never actually met the victim. That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time to nail this guy. I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn Elge. There was some lame guy with that name, though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, Tender Lender. I waited for him, but he ain't ever show up. I ain't never, ever been... Okay, so that's the fault. That's easy to spot. Contradiction. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you. Right. Grr. Easy peasy. Mr. Tiger, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What's you talking about? We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. What? If you really never been to Tribulations before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? You've been snooping around in my stuff now too, wise guy? What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broads controlling me. Order, order. Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Grah. Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? But listen, good, all right? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well. Looks like an order just came in from another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glenn Elge that day, and he did put the poison in the coffee. He must have. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured it was the plate. If the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cops' sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. Okay. I didn't see anything there, but I'm sure there was something. I see you didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make it the normal express. No more stupid questions. Huh. No problem. Anytime Trey presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Got it, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so yous know, since you're paying. Oh, man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? I was supposed to meet the kid at the restaurant. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. Huh. I gotta look at the evidence. What could it be? He saw the guy slumped over. Oh, he couldn't see because... An ugly scene, what do you mean? But... I limit myself to 70 cups of coffee during the trial. That's the rule. You better limit the number of times you take a penalty, right? Or your guts will look like the inside of a chimney. Don't make me burn you again, Mr. Wright. I guess I shouldn't have pressed on that. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. What I meant to do was... That's what I meant to do. You're something of a lone collector pro, aren't you, Mr. Tiger? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detector pro. And no one escapes the phoenix clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this straight? A new line of irrelevant questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tiger. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition. Why, that's true. Now, look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of view of any customer walking ends here. So, from the entrance of the Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met with him. Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Elge, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. Then that will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was the real killer? Who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Elge, and then impersonated his victim in the performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of the criminal to the court. Are you dumb? Are you retarded? Have you not been following this case at all? Obviously. The killer is Fury Tiger. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness. Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dare you see it again. Come on. You got this. You got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tiger. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright? Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got guts. I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, don't leave me to handle this alone. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Got it? Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no. The servant girl brought him coffee, but she just put something in it. There's no question about it. She was conspicuously putting some white powder in there. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains, he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the... Very impressive, Mr. Goddett, waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Heh. Found your pen at last, right? It was in my pocket. But anyways, Mr. Kudo's witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim and the supposed Mr. Glenn Elge and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Elge was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bride, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was the waitress that Mr. Kudos witnessed? Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Katavarian. She's an employee of Tenderlender. You was making a big mistake. Do you know who Violetta grandfather is, you better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bride, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true, there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy, and she had this kind of chuckling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bride seems to have seen, the earpiece worn by the victim in the left ear when the eardrum was erupted, and the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over, there is only one logical explanation that cleans all these contradictions up. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tiger, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on the game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give yous one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You's got it all wrapped up nice, huh, right? But you's missing one real important thing. But that can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met the kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you's here? What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tiger? What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're gonna need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happens that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim? Tribulations. Yeah, I loaned El Cash about 100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyways, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he started screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she had done, everything would have been over. Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elge was $50,000. Yeah, well, you've got to take into account interest. Builds up fast, you know? That's faster than fast. $100,000 and twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question? Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't got no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, he ain't got no case. His motive, he has to have one, but what is it? I know what the motive was, I think, but I don't know where to press on this. Yeah, I loaned about 100,000. Am I still getting penalized for pushing? I don't think this is it, but... Where is it? Yeah, I didn't think so. Well, I hope I can press him. The waitress, you mean? The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair? Who else could it be? If she hasn't got in the way, things would have been bada ding bing, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should press a little harder on this. Yes. Ask how things would have been. Ask about what Maggie did. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? Are yous all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before the waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recuperating his loan, Mr. Tiger had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The tiger's motive, huh? I was after the 100,000. I didn't have no other reason. Okay, now can I present it? No. There we go. Perfect. So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elge owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elge, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after.
Objection.
What are you getting at, Wright? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called McBomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the inside of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of His Honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important part. A virus like McBomber would be worth $7 million on the black market. $7 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elge had no way to repay the money is critical. What? Glenn Elge was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elge put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection.
You're trying to suggest the witness motive was to get hold of the program? Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, Wright. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder? Of course he could, providing that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure is on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tiger need money to the tune of $1 million? In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. How much this do you know? These medical papers documents the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yeah, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay in full. Well, $1 million, a preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tiger had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Grah! Order. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed, it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadavarian. Did you say Cadavarian? Bruto Cadavarian, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadavarian. Bruh. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadavarian demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elge's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tiger's sole intention was to get his hands on the CD. Glenn Elge had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tiger knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tiger would prefer to say never happened, but he can't. And neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elge won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tiger with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At last, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimately means. That's crazy. He murdered Glenn Elge and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bride for the crime. Mr. Tiger posed as Glenn Elge, while Viola Kadavarian played the role of Miss Bride. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Like I said, Trite, that crazy, no one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef would have been kept in the dark about it. You're right, he wasn't. But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already? Mr. Got It? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money, too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tiger's plan. Order, silence, or I will clear the court. Yous put on a good show, Spiky. If yous want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to go do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bride had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? Oh god, What was the trick you say Mr. Tiger performed to frame the accused? Was it him? What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tiger, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day of the question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I've ever seen. Grr. Grah. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? Gulp. Hey. Forget it about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court, we deal with people's lives. Mr. Gata is right. Your Honor, speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced the attorney in question was the witness standing here before me now. However, I preside over the court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No! If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tiger are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've came so far. You say he's impersonated Glenn Elge. You say he impersonated you, but none of that adds up to the murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Nah. sucks to be you, Wright. Don't mess with the tiger or you're gonna get mauled. You got that? All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit, but I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Heh. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I just had one more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tiger. Your Honor, sir. Wait. The Detective Gumshoe. Sorry I took so long, pal. I stalked everything on this. I sticked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart counting on this, too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal, from the medicine bottle. Oh, so you do know who the prints it belongs to now? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. They're furious tiger paws, all right. That's great. We've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for you, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on this bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in this trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glenn Eldridge's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on the bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't feel so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie, and I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie, you've been working on something for me? Sorry, I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it, and I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like this. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your way. Detective Gumshoe, wait. He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get this evidence. If only there were some way I could use it. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been into no court before. But yous lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright? Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victims? Your Honor? Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tiger. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusive are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what the bottle contains. Except one man, one person in this court should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on the pansy-looking bottle? Is that what you saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyways? A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and a phony clue. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tiger, this is a decisive piece of evidence that will prove you guilty. Why? Because it contains... Mr. Armstrong's oil. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Elch, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tiger, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You'd make a good clown, you know that? What? You ain't never gonna get this to stick. You's just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No. This is the bottle that found traces of the poison in it. Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look like nothing like that. Got him. At last. What? Why everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But yous ain't got nothing. You ain't gonna find none of my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you, people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What'd I say? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. Grr. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. Yous don't know who's you messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. Yous think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserved. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Rawr. What's going on? It looks like a blackout. Well done. Trite. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it while you watch the police restrain your prey. Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tiger, Mr. Goddard? He is being arrested on suspicion of murder of Glenn Elch, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bride was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of a genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake, indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tiger is a truly frightening criminal. Ha! The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Got it. Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bride, not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in their testimony then, huh? Oh, well, Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that he got the medicine bottle. That wasn't even of any use, but it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie? You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. I want to believe that, sir. But on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have a choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He's got to report the facts. He doubted me. That's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe? I actually really like weenies, you know. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this now? So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good. So the case of the phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here. I will continue later in a few hours. Until then, guys,